Hi everyone, I'm Liz and welcome back to Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch for Flosstube episode 29. Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you had a good week. I had a pretty uneventful one. We celebrated Andy's 3rd birthday last Sunday and had some delicious food. And other than that, it's just been work and stitching and getting stuff done. So I have a lot of fun stuff to show you this week that I'm very excited about. Some finishes, some quilt updates, and happy mail and haul. And that haul leads into some very fun and exciting new stitching plans. So, I also think I'm gonna have a giveaway at the end. So stick around for that. And I'm gonna start this week with some questions that I got. So Converse87 on YouTube asked me how I use Weeks Dye Work flosses. If I unthread the card, move them to something different, if I unwind it all and cut it into the lengths I like, or just how do I use Weeks Dye Works. And I thought I would show you guys how I use all three, what I classify as 3 different types of threads, which is Weeks, DMC, and then Classic Colorworks and Gast, which come on the same type of card. So specifically for Weeks, when they come like this, I just straight up cut the loop. Oh, this is a bad color to show you. Hold on. Here's a brighter color. Here's Lagoon. I haven't used Lagoon. So when I get a card of Weeks, all I do is kind of loosen this little knot so it's, you know, not super tight. And then I come down to the bottom and I will just cut straight through that loop so that I just have, so I can just stick my needle in and pluck off a strand of floss as I need it. I don't ever use the loop method on overdyed, so I don't worry about those strands being too short. If I'm using 2 strands, I will lay them together to kind of keep the variegation. So yeah, that's all I do. I don't unthread or get a new tag or anything. I just cut through the loop at the bottom and then just pull off my strands as I need them. For Gast and Classic Colorworks, I do the same thing. You can see it's the same length, the same amount of floss you're getting. So all I do is cut through the bottom loop. There will be strands that are already cut and then a loop because it's doubled over. I'm sure you understand. If you've used fancy floss like this, you'll know what I'm talking about. So I just cut the loop at the bottom and then I'm ready to go and just pull my strands off. DMC, I do take out of their skeins and I wrap them like around my arm and cut the loop so that I end up with a much longer length. It's double. And the reason I do this length on DMC is because if I'm using 2 strands, I like to use the loop method. So I like to have the longer length. If I'm using 1 strand, I will either use that 1 strand until it starts getting raggedy and then get a new strand, or I will cut the 1 strand in half and just use it a half length at a time. So yeah, so I keep my DMC this longer length, this 18-inch length. And I do the same thing where I stick my needle under the knot and pull strands off as needed. And that kind of helps me work more efficiently. I really hate loading and unloading needles. I'm sure everyone does. So, you know, keeping my threads all the same way on their respective cards, it's just helpful for, you know, pulling threads and working with all of my threads. So anyways, that is the answer to the question. The information you didn't know you needed or wanted on how I use my threads. Okay, and then Eva asked me where and how do I display cross stitch in my house? So you've probably seen in here, you know, I've got my little Wordplay 10, and over on this wall I've got some Save the Stitches thrift store cross stitch finds that used to be behind me when I sat on that side of my room. And then I thought I would walk you through where most of my cross stitch lives in my house. So what I'm showing you is a view like at the end of my hallway where my living and dining room and kitchen all kind of meet. And most of my framed non-seasonal cross stitch is up on my dining room wall. And so I have a few samplers and some just little, like a drawn thread piece and some patriotic stuff. And I just keep adding to my wall in the dining room. I have that china cabinet there in the corner that is not really in the right spot. I don't have a good spot for that china cabinet. It was my grandmother's and my sister had it in her home, and when she downsized to a tiny home, I took it, but I don't have a good spot for it. It doesn't fit in my dining room, so eventually it needs to move out to the garage until maybe I have a bigger house or can find a different spot for it. So right now the cross stitch wall is kind of off center and where I have it, and I can expand up and right, but I can't really go to the left too much with that china cabinet there. So that's kind of the arrangement that I have going right now. And yeah, I like it. That's kind of what I rearrange and reshuffle every time I have a new framed piece that I want to put up. I do have I have a couple pieces in my bedroom and one in the living room, but the majority is on that wall in the dining room. And then the smalls, the kind of more holiday, but you know, like seasonal and decorative, I tend to do that in my front entryway where everyone walks in. And so I have this super long bookshelf with a top on it where I have like my little bowl of smalls and some little decorative pieces. And you might be noticing there's not a lot out right now because I don't have like winter, spring, Valentine's. I don't have decor for that. So yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that and get some stuff done, because right now I just put my summer pillows in the bowl because, you know, they're bright colored and that's what I want right now. So yeah, that's what I have going on for my cross stitch decor. Yeah, so I have a lot to show you. So I'm gonna jump into it with finishes. I have 2 finishes for you this week. Okay, so the first finish, I get to update my Wordplay box. So I finished my February Wordplay. I love how it turned out. I used about half the called for colors, but my substitutions were pretty close. So I love how this kind of looks like almost like a box of chocolate colors with just pops of red and blue. Yeah, and I actually took a video of myself finishing this yesterday, and you can see in that video that I was struggling with what to put as the border behind the Wordplay. I had some really cute fabric options and I just couldn't decide. Eventually I settled on this blue, and yeah, I put my Wordplay piece together. So enjoy that little video. Doing? What? You trying to say sorry? Yeah. Yeah, are you very sorry for scratching me? Yeah. He scratched me. Hi. Everybody wants Diego content. Uh-huh. And there we go. I'm ready for tomorrow. All finished on time. Oh, I love how this turned out. And I love having it ready to go. I'm gonna have to figure out if I have time this month to start on March or if I'm just gonna wait and do April. We'll see. I kind of like this every other month thing. That way I'm not pressured to get all of them done this year. We'll see. I might get the itch to start March. But yeah, there's February. Okay, I had one other finish this week, which I'm very excited to show you. Another samplery finish, and that was tiny treetops. Yay! Sampler number 2, complete. These were really my ultimate goals, was to finish Blackberry House and tiny treetops. And it's January 31st, and I've done both. So what am I gonna do in February? I'm gonna have to set some new goals. Yeah, I love how this turned out. I stitched it on the called for 36 count doubloon by Picture This Plus with all of the called for floss. I just love it. I did grab the Sewing Club book to show you. So I love the way they have it framed in this book with the kind of antique-y gold and the burl wood frame. I think I mentioned that last week too, but I just love it. So yeah, I think this will probably be one that I send off to Total Framing. I think I'm gonna give them a shot. So I've been kind of trying to wait to see if it if their wait list, or not wait list, but you know, like their turnaround time, I don't know, kind of dies down, because I know they were really behind water or underwater before Christmas. So I think I'll probably give them a call here in a couple of weeks. I don't know, we'll see. I'm not in a huge rush, but I do want this frame soon with Blackberry House. So anyways, yes, so those are my finishes this week. I'm very excited. I'll just hold it up one more time. I love it. I did put in my initials. I changed the color. It was supposed to be this pecan brown gold color, but I changed them to light pink just so they didn't pop off the sampler, but they're still there. And then I put in my 2021, and I love it. Okay, so besides finishing those 2 things, I also worked on a few other things. So next up, I worked on Winter Rose Manor by Brenda Gervais. I'm at the hard part now. I'm just trying to fill in that house, and I wasn't super motivated this week to fill in that house. So I did work on this, but I don't even know if you can tell. Here is where I'm at. So I just kept working on the house. I started putting in these little tiny trees and that flower pot next to it, just kind of try to fill out the whole top and work my way down to the bottom. But oh my gosh, that house is a beast. It's so big, but it's so pretty. I'm really liking, now that I have a bunch of the the conch from Weeks stitched, I'm really liking how it looks on my fabric. I am using 40 count Brenda's Brew by R&R with all of the called for colors, except the white is Toasted Marshmallow by Classic Colorworks. I didn't have roasted, and I really do like how kind of bright white that Toasted Marshmallow is and how it pops on my fabric. So yay, that's Winter Rose Manor. Okay, so next this week, I think I talked to you actually last week about like prioritization, and I was trying to go through my WIPs and prioritize what exactly I wanted to see on my wall. Like, what do I want to get framed and up by a certain date? And one of those is definitely The Visitor by Blackberry Rabbit. And so I got this one back out this week, and I'm getting so close. I feel like I might be able to finish it today if this is like all I do today and I have a lot of good stitching time on the couch. So that might happen today. I don't know. I think I might be able to finish this. Let's see. Here's where I'm at. It's so pretty. I love seeing this one when I hold it up in the camera. I have just a little bit left in the bird, finish filling in the wing and the body a little bit, and then I have to finish the 2 leaves underneath the bird, and that's it. I absolutely love this. This is 40 count Dusty Road with all of the called for floss. This one does take a lot of floss, some DMC, but mostly fancy. And, but it's just beautiful. All of the shading is absolutely perfect and I love it. I have loved stitching on this one. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm gonna frame it in. I was almost thinking a round frame. I would definitely have to send this out. Do framing places even do round frames? I don't know. But I'm sure square will be. I have no idea what I'm gonna do with this one. This one might get sent to Total Framing too if I don't have an idea. How many things am I gonna send them? I'm just gonna keep finishing stuff and I'm just gonna send them all my finishes. Yeah. So that's the visitor. I am really hoping that I have a finish on this to show you next week. Okay, so the last thing that I worked on this week was quilt squares for my Americana sampler quilt. That's what I'm calling it, Americana sampler quilt. Okay, I made 2 more 6-inch blocks. So cute. And then I made 2 more 12-inch blocks. So I made 4 blocks this week, so I'm staying on track. Here is this one. I absolutely love how it turned out. This is the Broken Dishes pattern, I think from Joanna Figueroa. I'll put the block name and number up on the screen. This is from Blockheads. And then I finished this block, which I love how just like simple and graphic and bold this is. I think it'll be really good to have a mix of kind of more modern and kind of more traditional quilt blocks in the eventual sampler quilt. Yeah, so okay, so let's talk plans for a minute. That's what I worked on this week, which was a lot, even though I got through that in like 15 minutes. But I had some finishes this week. So I worked a lot this week on my tiny treetops, and my February wordplay I completed over my lunch breaks this week. So I'm going to talk about plans because I have some fun, interesting, and maybe random plans. For those of you that have been watching me, you might be like, what is she gonna do? So first, I finished my tiny treetops from the Sewing Club book, right? I just showed you that. And I kind of just always want to have a Sewing Club book project going because I probably want to stitch every single thing in here, and I already have another one kitted up. So I'm probably going to start another Sewing Club book this week. We'll see how the week goes, but I've got one kitted up. Let me show you. I've showed you before, but a bit of summer. So this sweet little sampler rolled up into a drum is what I have kitted up next. And I do have the called for 36 count sanguine, which, yeah, this is pretty accurate back here. It's a very peachy pink. And I have all of the called for weeks dye works. And yeah, it's probably gonna get started this week. So I just thought I'd mention it. I have like a real itch to start starting things, And I've also decided, like, I was kind of, what am I even trying to say? I was really focused on samplery, and I still am. I'm still going to be focused on my samplers in February. But I feel like I've been really rigid with myself and not letting myself start things, which is fine because I am getting stuff done and that is good. But also, like, who cares? If I start something and don't work on it for a while and don't finish it right away, who cares? It's fine. I still got plenty of room on my WIP shelf. So I might be starting some things this week. Let me show you one other thing that's normal. We'll get to the big project I want to start soon that you're going to be like, what? At least I assume you're going to be like, what? Okay. Project number 2 that I want to start very soon. I had to stop myself from starting it this week because I was like, no, you're getting stuff done this week. But I really want to start Hip Hop by Hands On Design and Priscilla. So cute. I want this in the same kind of finish that I did my little Santa chock full, and to sit up in my entryway. I don't have like really any spring decor, and yeah, so I really want to get some stuff stitched, and I kitted up the project with a piece of the 32 count, I think it goes this way, 32 count slate by Fabrics by Stephanie. And I have all of the called for flosses. Is this all of them? I think so. Yeah, it's not very many. Yeah. So yeah. Actually, I think I didn't have bean sprouts, so I'm subbing in baby spinach because it looked really close. But yeah, so I'm gonna get started on this one soon. Maybe this week. Again, it's all gonna be dependent on this next project I'm about to show you. Okay. So the next project that I really want to start next week, I was totally enabled by Kindred Stitcher, Lisa Smith. She posted a 3-part WIP parade last week, I think last weekend, and I saw the 3rd part was called Mirabilia. Oh yeah. And I was like, oh, maybe I won't watch that part. I'm not like normally a Mirabilia person. Never stitched one, never really had the desire. I've seen some of the mermaid models. They had some at the Stitches from the Heart in San Antonio, and they were beautiful. And Rob was like, why don't you stitch stuff like that? And I was like, oh, I don't know. It's not usually like my style or my thing. Well, I decided I've already watched part 1 and part 2. I'm going to watch part 3 of Lisa Smith. And you guys, I was completely enabled. I paused her video halfway through and was like, I'm gonna stitch a Mirabilia. Like, why have I not stitched one? I really want to stitch one. Oh man, yeah. I got totally hooked just looking up different patterns, and especially looking at the stitching up close rather than just looking at patterns. Like, I started Googling people's finished versions of Mirabilias to figure out what I wanted to stitch. And I have a feeling that this is going to fill the stocking void in my heart, because I did those 2 stockings over the last year, and you might be thinking those stockings are nothing like a Mirabilia, but to me, the like tons of colors of DMC and the like backstitch, quarter stitch, like all in the French knots, and there weren't specialty threads, but there was a lot of detail, right, to kind of make a larger picture, and lots of shading, and yeah. And I was looking at Mirabilias and I was like, I really want to do this. It's full coverage, but not a shade. It's, you know, lots of colors to create shading and movement. And it's like these beautiful ladies, these fancy ladies. I do also have to mention that I was, you know, subtly enabled by Fancy Lady Cross Stitch, by Lancashire Stitcher, Julie from Kansas City Girl. Who else shows Mirabilias? I don't know, but like I've had them in my head for a while. I think I even mentioned a while back, like, ooh, maybe I want to stitch a fancy lady, but I had never really strongly considered it until I watched Lisa's WIP parade, and I was like, So I'm stitching one. I picked one, and it's actually one that Lisa is currently stitching on. And here she is. Ooh. It's Florentina, and look, she has a little cat. That's kind of what sealed the deal for me. Yeah. So this starts haul because I purchased this week, and all of the supplies. So yeah, this one's getting started soon. So Friday after work, my special treat for the weekend was to work on kitting up my Mirabilia. And so I put all of the DMC on thread drops and got them all ready. Oh, I cannot wait. Gosh. And then I've never worked with the Karen water lilies. They're silks and they're beautiful. So this project calls for, I think there's 6 of them or 7 of them, Karen water lilies. So I got those. Oh, I'm so excited. And then I did order the called for Krynic. They were out of one color. I got the copper. But I also, after reading all of y'all's comments on last week's video about Petite Treasure braid being a little easier, I have ordered the equivalent Petite Treasure braid for the 2 colors I need. And those are on their way. So I'll kind of see what I like the look of better, or what I like the feel of better, and decide what I'll eventually use in my Mirabilia. And then I did get the beads. There are not a ton of beads called for in this one, which is also kind of what drew me to it. I really do want to bead, and I'm sure these beads are used a lot in the pattern, but it's not an insane amount of beads. So there's a treasure. You can't really see. There you go. And then some purple and some coppery gold. So I'm so excited. This is unlike anything I've ever stitched before, and I just want to have fun with it. It's huge. So I was looking at the stitch count and I was like, this is a huge lady. Oh, and fabric. I didn't even talk about fabric. So I don't have, the reason I haven't started it yet and why I didn't just start it immediately on Friday evening when it came, instead of working on kitting it out, was that I don't have fabric yet. So you do need to stitch on 28 or 32 for the beads to fit. And so I have 2 pieces of fabric on order. One from Wendy at the Tinsmith's Wife, which is a, I can't remember the brand, but it's a hand dye. I think it's called Rose Merta is the fabric color. It's like a pink and brown, like mostly pink with like kind of splotches of some brown in it, which I feel like would be really pretty behind her. And then I also have a 28 count. So that's a 32 count, I think, that Wendy is sending me. And then I have a 28 count, picture this plus, I don't remember, the chalice maybe? Oh, I can't remember. So anyways, I have 2 pieces of fabric. They're supposed to come this week, and I'll figure out what I like, and then I want to start this. I'm really excited about it. I hope you guys are excited to see me tackle a Mirabilia for the first time. I'm pretty pumped about it. So yeah, that's what's happening. I'm starting a Mirabilia, and I will be giving you updates, I'm sure, every week that I work on it and letting you know how it goes for me. It takes 3 skeins of DMC white. Oh my god. Oh no, just 2? Oh, I thought it was 3. Okay, just 2. But still, that's so much white stitching. I did cut my threads really long because I'm going to use the loop method. Anytime I work on lower counts of fabric, if I'm using DMC, then I like the loop method. So I cut my threads long so I can use the loop method. With these silks, I'll use 2 strands, which is why they're so much shorter. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say about that. I think that's it. I'm gonna start a Mirabilia. I hope you guys are excited. Okay, so we just kind of talked haul with my Mirabilia. That's the haul I got in this week, was the supplies for the Mirabilia. And then I also had some happy mail. Thank you guys so much who contact me and want to send me something. It's totally not necessary, but it is so appreciated. I got some really, I got a couple of really nice things in the mail this week, so let me show you what I got. The lovely Judy reached out to me and asked if she could send me some charts she knew that she wasn't going to use or was done with, and I was like, yeah, sure. And oh my gosh, she sent me some of the Chalk series and some Shannon Christine, yeah, and they're all so cute. And I am definitely gonna stitch this after I do my little bunnies. This is gonna be so cute to switch out after spring for summer. Oh, thank you, Judy, so much. I love this. And oh, also this one, the bloom. Oh my gosh, I love it. But I mentioned a giveaway earlier. She sent me 2 of the Liberty ones. So I'm gonna give one of these to you guys. If you would like to win a copy of Liberty Chockful by Hands On Design. Just use the word Liberty somewhere in your comment, in the comment section, and then that's what I'll search for when I pick a winner. So yeah, no restrictions on where you live. I'll ship it wherever. Just use the word Liberty somewhere in your comment. Thank you, Judy. That was a really, really fun package to get earlier this week. Okay, next up, I got this package, I think on Friday, and I was so excited. And this came, well, let me just show it to you first and I'll tell you about it. I got a project bag. How cute is this? And it is, I think, sized to fit like 12.5 by 12.5 quilt blocks. It's like a quilt project bag. And it's like this envelope style. It's bound all the way around. It's so cute. And it has a little magnetic closure there. And oh my gosh, it's just awesome. This came from Artie, who is the vintage stitcher on YouTube, and from, let me look at her Instagram name, From the Heart Quilts on Instagram and Facebook. And she even tucked in a little project board, like that you could use for quilting or for your floss, like a, what do they call those? Like a floss board? Bitsy Bob? I'm so bad with names. But anyways, look how cute that is. And then it just tucks right into the bag, and you can store like quilt projects, quilt blocks, other things like that. Or even a cross stitch project. I might put a cross stitch project in there. It's so cute. And in her card, Artie told me that she does cross stitch finishing. So I know a lot of people, you know, have asked me, you know, where, like, you know, if I know any cross stitch finishers or if I finish, which I don't even have time to finish what I stitch. But Artie is a cross stitch finisher. So if you want to check out her Instagram or Facebook, if you're looking for somebody to finish your stuff, it's always good to know a cross stitch finisher, right? So I'll put her her links down below. So if you want to check her out. But thank you so much. I love my bag. Oh, also, look at how cute this card is. It's like embossed, so it's puffy. And it's got that, what are these called? I always call them a Texas star, but I feel like that's just what Texas quilt shops call them. Is that really a Texas star? I don't know what this this pattern exactly is called, but look at that cute quilt pattern. Okay, I think that's what I've got for you this week. Make sure if you want to enter the giveaway, leave a comment with Liberty down below, and I'll pick a winner in my next video. And oh yeah, make sure you're subscribed and you like the video, and that'll make sure that when I pick you, I'm like, oh, they're not a subscriber. But anyways, yeah. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me this week and just being so much fun to talk to. And oh my gosh, I love all of your comments, especially about the grumpy old man last week. I don't know how he found me, but he will not be returning. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.